I know a lot of you guys saw this coming because you're very smart baseball fans, but Paul Skenes is making some pretty remarkable history, so stay tuned for that. Aaron Judge, he has been painfully bad ever since his hitting coach called out the Yankees. Yeah, that happened. The Dodgers are trying to avoid being swept by the Phillies, and the Boston Red Sox, are they a dark horse threat in the AL? What about the Mets in the NL? They both have been on fire lately. We're going to talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap, and don't forget that Recap is presented by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off all of your tickets. Also, code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy, my favorite daily fantasy app, will get you a $250 bonus cash credit and a free pick'em. Don't miss out. All right, so we got to talk about Paul Skenes and the fact that he almost threw a no-hitter yesterday, but he was not allowed to try and complete it. Now, Paul did not have an easy start to the game. He got into some trouble in the second inning, but no worries. He has that splinker in his back pocket. He's out of the jam. He also has a 99 to 102 mile per hour fastball. Down goes Blake Perkins. Bryce Terang, he got fooled. That is 6 strikeouts through the first 10 hitters of this game. William, he chases the splinker. That pitch is already historic in my opinion. Like, it's the best splitter in all of baseball already, but pay attention to the pitch clock. He strikes out Adames in the 4th on his 68th pitch, and then he got his 9th strikeout on pitch 75. So if he would have been more efficient to begin the game, he probably would have been allowed to go 8 or 9 innings. Perkins was caught looking again. That was Skenes' 11th strikeout of the day, so he's through 6 shutout on 93 pitches. Wait for the bottom of the 7th. Aaron Savali, who just got picked up by the Brewers in a trade with I almost said Cleveland, with the Rays. Savali was fantastic. He went 6 scoreless frames, but he couldn't make it 7. Yasmani Grandal, he laced another RBI extra base hit, and Jack Sawinski, he scored from first base as he belly flopped into home. Now back to Paul Skenes. He got 1 quick out, and the second out was a little bit scary because Gonzalez and Sawinski, they almost collided, but they do make the out. Freely dribbled for the final out in the 7th, so that was a 6-pitch 7th inning. Paul, he wanted to go back out and finish it. Obviously, he wants a no-hitter, and he voiced that in the post-game interviews. He's not happy at all, but the Pittsburgh manager, he said that Paul Skenes looked tired, and I don't know, does this sound like a guy who looked tired?
Was there any part of you that wanted to go back out?
Yeah, I mean, definitely wanted to finish it, but, you know, throwing every 6 days, 5 days, whatever it is now, definitely understand that side of it.
Anyway, the bullpen did their job, and after allowing a few base hits, Colin Holderman and Aroldis Chapman, the bullpen completes the job. They do get the W. And now we have some breaking news. As I was recording this game, it popped up on my phone. Jeff Passan, he announced that Paul Skenes will be starting the All-Star game for the National League. He's just the 5th rookie to ever do that. And to be honest with you guys, after going 7 no-hit frames with 11 strikeouts, that's 2 starts already, going 6+ with 11 strikeouts, no base hits. To me, he's absolutely deserved it. I think that he's the best pitcher in baseball right now. The Yankees and the Rays went full Costco, guys, and they brought out the boom early in this game. Sorry, that was kind of cringe, but Randy, he caught a barrel for 2 runs. He's got 12 home runs, 12 stolen bases. He's trying for his 4th consecutive season going 2020. The Vegas Kid, a product of Bishop Gorman. I played them a lot when I was in high school. Austin Wells, he pimped one, and he's got 4 home runs and a 370 on base since June 6th, so he looks locked in. Juan Solo, people call him that when Juan Soto goes yard for a solo home run. He's got 22 home runs already. Brandon Lau, he lined with the other way for a go-ahead RBI double, so the Rays, they're going to keep on fighting. And Ahmed Rosario, he doubled in Brandon Lau. Ahmed, he's hitting .303 with only 7 walks in 68 games. Good old Ahmed Rosario, that's the guy that I remember with awful defense. I just don't think that he's good, I'm sorry. But he is good because he's hitting .303 with some RBIs. Either way, I got distracted. We're going to go to the 9th inning. Both teams, they just traded some RBIs, so it's now 5-3 in the 9th. Rookie Ben Rice, he clutched up with 2 outs. He's been a lifesaver for them, especially with Judge being completely awful lately. Glaber, he can tie it if this one drops, and Caballero, he caught up to it, and he makes the wait, did he make the grab? It dropped out of his glove. What's the call? So they go to replay. They do confirm the catch. The Yankees, they drop another game versus an AL East opponent. Now, a few moments ago, I talked about how Aaron Judge has been awful right now. The crazy thing is, it might be his hitting coach's fault, and he loves his hitting coach, but on July 4th, his lifelong hitting coach tweeted about Judge's MVP numbers while the Yankees had lost 13 of 18 or something like that. Judge and Boone both had to comment, and Judge did not look too happy that he had to even talk about this. Since that day, Judge is hitting 143 with 0 home runs and a league worst 360 OPS in 7 games. Are the Yankees going to bounce back? Should they let Juan Soto walk to spend money on 3 or 4 other players because it looks like they need that depth? What should the Yankees do? Yo, if you're a Tigers fan, my hat's off to you because you smoked my team, the Guardians, in this series. The Guardians traded for Spencer Howard a few days ago, and they might be wishing they did not do that because he stunk it up. Riley Green, he drove in the game's first run, and then Spencer Howard, great job, buddy. He walked Colt Keith with the bases loaded. I probably would have done the same thing because Colt Keith has just been on a run lately. I would have been afraid of him. Vierling, he singled in another. The only reason why that was a single is because the ball got knocked out of Schneeman's glove. It could have been a sick play, but the Tigers went up by 3. I mean, this was fun for me for all of 5 seconds. Bo Naylor, he socked a solo home run, and that was the only run allowed by Jack Flaherty and the Detroit bullpen all day. Carson Kelly, he jumped on a fastball. He got that Bo Naylor run right back, and the Tigers opened the floodgates. Green, he blooped in 2 more. He had a big 3 RBI day. In scores Keith and Mr. Vierling. Jack Flaherty ended his gem with 4 strikeouts, only 2 base hits allowed. He has a 3.1 ERA and 119 strikeouts and 95 innings. He signed a 1-year contract, so I think they're going to flip him because his value has not been higher in quite some time. There's another bases loaded walk, and then the former Guardian tagged them again. Gio Urshela, he clears the bases, and out of nowhere, he's almost hitting 380 with 12 base hits over his last 8 games. Austin Hedges, he threw 2 no-hit frames, and that's in large part because he got some help from rookie Angel Martinez. He robs Zach McKinstry of a home run, but yeah, that's a real sentence. Austin Hedges threw 2 no-hit relief innings. The Tigers take 3 of 4. Just an awful showing from the Guardians, who've been bad for almost a month now. I'm going to talk about the Dodgers now because we've already talked about the Yankees, we've talked about the Guardians, and now the Dodgers, they have some of the worst starting pitching ERAs over the last 3 weeks in all of baseball. The Dodgers have a 7 ERA. The Yankees almost have a 7. The Guardians almost have a 6. It's bad. And as you can see, Aaron Nola was dicing early, so the Dodgers cannot afford a bad start. But TT, Trey Turner, he cannot get out lately. And those powder blue uniforms, I swear it gives these guys magical powers. Ohtani, he chased a nasty knuckle curve with the bases loaded, and Dodgers fans, they're getting a little bit impatient with his lack of clutch hitting. Will, he bounced out, so Nola, he works out of that bases loaded jam. Phillies up by 2 now. Brandon Marsh, he opened the hips. That was a beautiful swing. He smoked a line drive home run. Nola, he tossed 4 shutout when wait, is that Gavin Lux? Keep on doing that, bud. Work the other way. He's got the talent to be a 15-20 home run guy, and I think that it's there. He's just got to get out of his own head. Aaron Nola ended up going 6 innings. He struck out 9 Dodgers in his final start of the first half. Brandon Marsh, time to turn on the Jets. He rips an RBI triple, and Johan Rojas, he knocked in Brandon Marsh a few moments later. Now, before we show Schwarber's home run, his 19th, Johan Rojas, he plays some beautiful defense. He has some of the best range I've ever seen. Schwarber, he goes to the second deck for his 19th as the Phillies, they sweep the Dodgers, but a lot of Dodgers fans are saying we don't even have a rotation right now. It doesn't count. But hey, the Dodgers, they've lost 4 in a row. The Padres have lost 4 in a row, while the Phillies, they're 1 win away from being 30 games over 500. That is crazy. All right, so we have like 5 straight shutouts coming up, so let's get this red slugfest out the way. Hunter Green, he's an all-star. If you guys don't remember, he took Tyler Glasnow's place. Tyler Stevenson, I'm so happy that he's back to being one of the better offensive catchers in all of baseball. That is a 3-run Oppo Taco, again, just like Gavin Lux, worked the other way. Tyler now has 3 games in a row with the Tater. Santiago Espinal, he sucks against righties. That's a lefty. Kind of expected that. 420 feet way out. Again, he's very good versus lefties, useless versus righties. Mike Otolia, they call him Big Mike, and you can see why. He tags Hunter Green for the only run they scored all day. Tolia's got 12 home runs, by the way. Hunter was lights out. He had 10 strikeouts, just 2 base hits over 6 frames. And to begin his career, he has 442 strikeouts over his first 348 innings. He's disgusting. Jamir, he had a big June. He's kind of slowed down a little bit, but there he is lacing a 2-run double. That gave them a bigger cushion, and Tyler, again, he now has double-digit home runs. His 10th home run gives him 8 RBIs over the last 72 hours. The Reds take 3 of 4, but they're still 45 and 49, so some work to do. We might as well keep the slugfest going, but remember, 5 shutouts coming up, and if you had an NRFI bet, that is no runs first inning bet, yeah, about that. The first 5 hitters for the Mariners all got on base, so that means a run scored. A rookie was making his debut for the Angels. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry. But Rojas, he singled in one. The Halos airmailed another one for another free run. And Jorge Polanco, he ripped one the other way for a 2-run knock. And if he gets going, I'm just going to say this. On top of the pitching being nearly unhittable over the last few weeks, this Seattle team can be stacked. If Polanco gets going, J-Rod finds his swing again. And now you have Cal Raleigh and J.P. Crawford both turning on some pitches for home runs. Cal, again, had a multi-home run game. Wait for the second one because J.P., he pimped his 8th. He had a huge 3-hit night, and it's been a rough start to the season for him. So if he gets going as well, I mean, the Mariners on paper are crazy talented. He had 3 base hits on the night, and I think that's his 3rd base hit right there, an RBI single, so he was a triple away from the cycle. Cal Raleigh, now from the right side, that's the 2nd time this week that he's done that. A multi-home run game as a lefty and righty hitter. Just unreal talent from a defensive wizard catcher. Luis Castillo, he shoved on the bump, and he could really dial it up because of that lead. He punched out 5 over 6 scoreless, so that's back-to-back shutouts for the Mariners staff, and that pitching rotation is absolutely going to be a problem if they make a deep playoff run. You got Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu if he comes back healthy. There's another guy that I'm missing. George Kirby, how could I forget him? That's disgusting. Would you look at this? What were struggling Cubs are on the verge of sweeping the mighty Orioles. And again, if we're talking about shutouts, if Seiya just doubled in Michael Busch, that means that they did sweep the Orioles and they shut them out. Seiya, he goes to left, and again, Michael Busch scores. And now Michael Busch has an RBI double of his own. This was later in the 5th inning, a 2-run double, by the way. Seiya, that is not the same clip, by the way, but this is some deja vu. His 2nd RBI extra base hit of the day scores Michael Busch. Cole Irvin, he's been batting practice Irvin lately. Swanson went 425 feet to straightaway center field. Chicago, they are seeing beach balls, and especially this guy, Seiya, with the triple. And of course, Busch was on again, so he had 3 extra base hits in this game. Every single time he hit one, Michael Busch was able to score. Seiya Suzuki, by the way, has a career 121 OPS plus. Ian Happ, he rewarded Seiya with the run. Happ secured an RBI extra base hit as well, and this will do it, I promise. Dansby, his 2nd RBI pushed it to an 8-run lead, and Justin Steele only needed 70 pitches to get through 7 shutouts, so he was kind of like the anti-Paul Skenes. I don't know why he wasn't allowed to go 8 or 9, considering they were winning by a lot, but maybe they want to rest his arm going into the All-Star break. Justin Steele, by the way, has back-to-back W's, his only 2 wins of the season, despite having a 2.7 ERA, but the Cubs, they dominated the Orioles. They beat them by a score of 21-2 over 3 games. I got a question for you guys. Are the Mets a threat? Like, I'm actually asking at this point because it's supposed to be a bridge year. They're not supposed to be good, and I can't say I'm too shocked because the lineup is still insane, but Brandon Nimmo, I mean, he's been Mickey Mantle lately. Not on that one. I did want to show James Wood making a nice grab, but this swing right here, a base-clearing double versus the lethal Mackenzie Gore, that is not easy to do, but he makes it look easy. JD Martinez, he singled in another. James Wood, this throw was just a little bit too late. Hold on a second. Pete, he makes it 5-0, and he wanted to go for 2. He thought that he was Bobby Witt Jr., but you can't run on James Wood too often. He does make that throw. Shout out, by the way, to David Peterson. He carved his way through 6 scoreless when Mark Vientos, he drove in their 6th run. Harrison Bader, their 7th run. The Mets have won 3 games in a row. They're 24-12 since May 31st, and that was when they called up Jose Iglesias, who to me has completely changed the vibes in that clubhouse. He's a musician. His walk-up song is his own song, OMG, and every time they hit a home run, they play that song. They're a fun team to watch right now. Masataka Yoshida had his biggest game of the year and in quite some time, dating back to last year even. It's really cool to see him healthy and finally getting some reps. That is a 2-run base hit. Willie Abreu had a nice game as well. He slapped an RBI double to end the scoring in the 1st, but Connor Wong, he got it going again, and he shows why the Red Sox won the Connor Wong trade. That's obviously satirical. I'm not being serious, but all jokes aside, Connor Wong is hitting .315 with 8 home runs. Crazy for a catcher. Willier, the rookie, can swing it. Just like Connor Wong, he also now has 8 home runs. He also has 7 stolen bases and one of the strongest arms in all of baseball. Speaking of arms, Tanner Houck, he's been one of the better starting pitchers of anyone. He got in some trouble after going 5 shutout in Cora. He said, I'm going to go out there and talk to my ace, hype him up. I don't know if it worked because that's a wild pitch, but it does actually work. He strands them and he goes 6 scoreless, and the slider looked borderline unfair. He has a 2.5 ERA after striking out 6, and I think he's going to get an inning or 2 maybe in the All-Star game. Massa, no way, 2 more RBIs on the long ball. That is a big 4 RBI day, and this is fun. We have a save. Yes, a save up by 7 runs. If you pitch 3+ innings to end a game, it could be 1,000,000 to 1. If you go 3+ to end it, they give you a save. So Chase Anderson has done that 3 times already this year. The Red Sox, they're 3.5 games back of the Yankees. Yankees. The final shutout of the recap, we saved the lowest scoring one for last. Max Fried, he was unleashing 97 fastballs all game long. He got Suarez and then Corbin. That nasty slider, lefty just looks flat out miserable. Fried, he gets 3 in a row. He's looking as locked in as ever, but Brandon Pfaadt, he was also locked in. Both guys worked their magic to get through 4 without allowing much of anything, but I can't say the same about the 5th. Gino Eugenio Suarez, he homered for the game's only run, and by the way, the guy who caught it bet on Eugenio Suarez to homer, so that was pretty fun. Max was still very good. He had 7 strikeouts over 6. It was just that Brandon Pfaadt, he was missing barrels and hard contact all game long. He went 6 scoreless, and by the way, tip the cap to Max Fried. The final 4 outs that he got were via the strikeout, and his night is over. It's just his lineup. They were held in check. They wanted to get a run, but Seawalk, he showed off the Gold Glove defense, and then Jake McCarthy, he saves Paul Sewald from yet another blown save. That would have been his 4th blown save in the last week and a half. He jumped up, he robs Matt Olson, and Sewald, he does get his 13th save. The Snakes, they're back to 500. They're 47 and 47. We talked about the Mariners earlier, and there was no Rangers game today, but the Astros, they're trying to keep pace with the Mariners, and I wonder if Brian De La Cruz is going to get traded, because once upon a time, he was traded from the Astros to the Marlins in exchange for Jimmy Garcia, and it's crazy that was 3 years ago already. Brian now has 16 home runs. He could be on the move, in my opinion. The Astros, they tied it pretty much moments later on a John Singleton sac fly. Jeremy Pena, he dropped one in for the 2-1 lead, but check this out. Nick Fortes, it's now 2-2. This dude, he's been pretty bad this year, but with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, he's almost hitting .470, which is crazy. There was a wild pitch from Rodrigo Munoz that moved up Trey Cabbage from 2nd to 3rd. Cesar Salazar scores Trey because Trey was moving on contact, and Josh Bell had no chance, and neither did the Marlins have a chance at winning this game. It's now 4-2 Astros. Jake Myers almost had a 2-run home run. They got a few more, but again, this game was basically a wrap. Jazz, before the game was over, he pimped his 12th home run, and the Astros fans did not like the fact that he was really showboating. He's getting booed left and right, but he's so much fun to watch. Josh Hader, he got Josh Bell to chase a slider 4 feet outside. The Astros, they complete the sweep, and they've won 16 of their last 20. We have a rubber match. Whoever wins this game wins the season series, and that's obvious because the Jays and the Giants only play once a year. The Jays grabbed 2 first-inning runs, one on a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. ground out, and another on a big league at-bat from Justin Turner. He's just doing his job, putting the ball in play, nothing fancy. Danny Jansen said, screw that, I'm going to be fancy. He's showing off now. He went golfing for his 6th home run of the year. Elliot Ramos, the all-star, the rookie. I know he's a young player, but he's playing like a, I don't know if I should say superstar yet, but a star at the least. He's hitting 300 with 14 home runs and a 162 OPS plus, and his exit velos are off the charts. Toronto, they answer with an RBI from a rookie of their own. Leo Jimenez, he drove in Davis Schneider, and trouble versus Matt Chapman. Chapman smoked one to Kevin Kiermaier, and if it gets past them, it's maybe an inside the park home run, but he's Kevin Kiermaier. He does not miss. Spencer Horwitz, he didn't miss this one either. A splash hit into McCovey Cove. He's now hitting 322 with 4 home runs and a 166 OPS plus. It's only 29 games, but that's still very impressive. The former Giant Kevin Gausman, he really dialed in after that 2-run home run to Ramos. He got through 7 innings. Kind of a nice way to end the first half, even though he did give up a few runs. Didn't strike out too many. This home run made it interesting. Mike Wazowski turned on a fastball at his eyebrows. Chad Green, he did eventually get the final few outs. He gets the save. Toronto is 43-50. The Giants are 45-49. Who's going to give up first and trade some pieces, the Jays or the Giants? So that does it for today's recap. I just want to say one more time, I know I say this a lot, maybe I get annoying, but thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for growing the game of baseball. I hope that you guys have a great and safe rest of your day, and check out the web gem.
Pitch. It's stressful.
Liner to left. Taylor Ward comes in. Dives. Double last night. And another test for Cruz. And Cruz.
A short right. Here comes DeLuca in a hurry. Got it.
India, nice sliding smother.
Jaron Duran on his way. Hot smash. Nice pick. Rafael airborne. Bounces in. And get.
Oh, now Berger makes a great play. That's one, and that's all they'll.
On the button out to center field. Julio slides. That.
This one out toward right center field. Long run for Gordon, lays out.